Sarah's Smile. Sarah's Smile is a story of mine. It's been inspired by my dreams, my true life, and also my travels, and a certain person I've met, and another person I can't prove who I've met. It's just as much as a love story as it is fantasy and just things that go around in my head, especially when I'm dancing and listening to music, and also when I've met people. So I'm hoping you like the story and you get the idea of it. It's going to be another long story, but if you're looking for a love story that's just got a little bit of sparkle to it, I know it's raw, it is in its early stages. I've never really written or spoken a book properly before, so here it goes. I hope you like it. I'm not too sure what I'm calling it yet, but I'm thinking Sarah Smiles and the Echo of a Promise. That's the only time I'm going to mention it, because Princess means Sarah. There's two Sarahs in my life. There's always have been. There's been a Sarah in my life since I was about 5 years old. And even though I thought it was just a dream of times when I wasn't doing too well, I always just put it down to that. Because there's been this guardian angel that's been looking after me for time. And her name's Sarah. And I've only recently actually got her name. I kind of had it there, but I just couldn't say it properly. But when I met this certain lady through my life on my travels and things, it kind of got confusing. So, be this a love story? Was it a fantastical story? I don't know. All I know is once in my life, I just want to speak from my heart and just say everything I want to say about how bad I've been treated when I was younger, but also how wonderful my life has been because I met a certain woman that I thought was so beautiful that I didn't deserve her love. So I never told this woman that I loved her. I just kept it all inside, just left it there. But because I did that, it's kind of inspired a story about. It's not a story, it's a mix of my life of what I've witnessed and seen and felt and also dreamed. And what I do feel about this one woman I thought was so beautiful. I didn't have the guts to say, I think you're lovely. Because from the first moment I saw this girl, when she come into my life, she gave me the biggest smile I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean? You know, when you think of a beautiful smile, this was just, hey, knock you straight out. I was like, yeah, hello. But she gave me something. There's something little. It's not much. To others, it might not mean anything. So get your pew buckets, because what she gave me was a little smile in my heart. Now, to understand that smile, I've got to understand a little bit of my past. When I was younger, I lost my brother. I had a tragic accident, and I was never cared for. I was left to just deal with that situation. And I did have a dream about a guardian angel, but that dream's been with me all my life. So this all did start with just like a simple dream as a kid. And I was roughly 5 years old when I lost my brother, so it seems real. But I know 100%, like thinking logically and rationally, it was just a dream. But it's always felt real. And I've always put it down to just dreams when I've dreamt about my guardian angel through my life. And I dreamt about it a lot. Yeah, we've been on all sorts of adventures, and every single one of them's been great. Yeah? I've got loads of stories for that. Absolutely loads. My dreams are taking me everywhere. But recently, within the last year, I've not dreamt of my guardian angel. Only the one time where my guardian angel and my friend was in the same dream, and it's the only time that they've ever been in it. It's like they've gone tag. Yeah, because the only person I've seen in my dreams now is my friend. And I've tried to get it out of my head. It's been doing my bloody nutting. And it's become part of the story. Because they seem to have some sort of connection from when I've met this dream, this guardian angel when I was a kid, this one memory of something that was beautiful. It brings me to this friend. And it's as if they've got that connection somehow. And it intrigues me. I find it fascinating, to think that way. But at the same time, I think it's quite bizarre and out there. So I do think it's a little bit crazy, the story, but I've got to give it from my heart, otherwise you're never going to get the story. So here goes. Why are they connected? Why? See, I've been looking for answers all over the place. I have. All over the place. It's been great. It's been a right journey. And I've enjoyed every last minute of it. And yeah, even though I think I've gone nuts and at some point I thought I was going to fucking die, but I'm still here. But something's pushing me, urging. Speak, just to tell my stories of how I've loved, I've been hurt, but how I've come through it all and just come out the other side. Just because I love a person's smile. Absolutely love it. I think I'm a number one fan when it comes to a smile. Yeah. But that's the thing that does me. It's always the smile. I can't get it out of my head. So when I'm thinking of stories, or I think it's the mental health taking over and I'm just going all out there, I don't know which one it is, but there's always something trying to talk to me. But in a nice way, not telling me to go and do something stupid or like that. It's just guiding me, talking to me. But I've spoken to myself since I was 5 years old. After I had that experience of a lady coming to just give me a cuddle, basically. So she did. She just gave me a cuddle. And she's been with me ever since, every day. So, when I tell this story, I don't really want to tell it. It's mine. Yeah, it's kind of my ultimate secret in a way. But I can't make that connection unless I understand everything I'm thinking about my friend. It's something simple. It's not daft. I do love her. I do love her. I do. But how is it said? How is it said? See, it's very difficult. I've gone off there. That's a brain book. The connection. It's mad. It's hard to say. But I think the thing my friend and my guardian angel has got in common is that I've only learnt about this recently. Earth angels. I thought it was just a chat up line on the bloody song. I really did. But when I've Googled it earlier this year, it's like, oh, Earth angels, and there's about Philip Schofield and things like that. I was like, I didn't know there's one of them. And I did this stupid survey, and you tick off what a person's like, and I did it. It says she was an Earth angel. Oh my goodness. I wish I didn't do it. I was like, oh my god. And it kind of pinged, the story came into my mind. But it is about love and how I love this girl. But it's also about the story, and it's also about my guardian angel, because it's as if I've been denying her something. And that's telling people who she is. Because I was afraid that people will just judge me and just laugh at me, or, that sort of thing. But I see the telly and things like that, and they're always on about aliens or God knows what. So why can't a man just get his heart out there and just say what he feels about what his life has been about? So this is just what my stories are all about. It's about me. It's like a life story in a way, but through a story, through dreams, but through experiences also. And it's great. I've got a wicked story. It's in my head, but it's just getting it all out. So all I can do is keep recording and hopefully take all the good bits out when I come back to it. So far, I think it's there. I've come to terms with certain things in my life about losing my brother, the way I was treated, and things like that. I've had to let it all go, everything, and just open my mind and open my heart. But since I've done that, all I'm getting is stories and answers to questions, and I don't know where they're coming from. And that's the only way I can explain it. But I'm enjoying every last bit. So I'm just speaking it. It's coming out of my mind. I don't know what's going to come out. But I'm going to keep talking and talking until I get to the point. I wanted to send her a gift. I didn't have the bottle. I don't want to disturb her. It's like, it's none of my business. You know what I mean? But I can't stop thinking about it. And I don't know what to do. I want to talk to her. But instead, I'm just going to tell my story because she's part of the story. She's part of my life of how when things were shit, I've come along to this place. All of a sudden, I got this lovely lady looking after me. It was like ping, lovely. And I didn't tell her how I felt because I was so scared to lose that friendship. So I just didn't bother. I was like, yeah, okay. I just enjoyed the moment. I did. But there wasn't a moment gone by where it's just like, fucking hell, Dan, go on, stop it. And I couldn't understand why I didn't go for it. Because I've travelled around this country, all over the place. I've had a right good time. I've been to Butlins, Pontins, you fucking name it. Been to all Little Manners and God knows what, with all the posh chicks and everything. And my cuddles are famous in Pontins. I can assure you that now. But I never tried. I didn't. And do you know something? Thinking about it now, it's like, why never did I do that? Because I so wanted to all the time. She's a beautiful girl. She's got a fantastic smile. And I'll never get out of my heart. I really will not. But like I say, it's some of the best times. So if you come from a rough background and things have been a bit shit, spending time with a nice woman that actually knows how to think with her heart is absolutely gold dust. There's no words that can describe that feeling when you're just bombing around in a nice car. And you've got this blonde, beautiful woman with a fantastic heart, and her bloody hair's blowing in the wind. It's like, fucking hell, how the hell did I get there? I never said anything. Bloody hell. But I did. I enjoyed the moment. Yeah, it was fantastic. So, when you think about it, you've just got that one memory that's always going to be there. I tell you this now, that memory is going to be of that girl when she first walked into the pub and gave me that fantastic smile. Yeah? This is not just about confessing my love to a woman. It's not. But at the same time, it is. Connection. It's part of the story, guys. But, where is it? See, I don't want to use a name all the time. So I'm going to finish. So, my guardian angel is Sarah. That's her name. I know her name now. So I can use it in the story. I've just been waiting for that. See, this is part of the crazy bit about it, which is just, is it a dream? Is it mental health? Or is it somebody actually talking to me? I don't know. But all I know, she's part of the story, so I'm going to put it there. Now, my friend, she's got the same name, but her name, I've looked up meanings for names, mine, hers, and her name, I don't know what it was in, but it means princess. So I'm going to go for that. You gotta have your characters, so do excuse me. How it is. What do I want to do? What do I talk to next? I don't know. See, I want to talk about a gift that I want to give you. Just something special. You know what I wanted to do? Because I heard this lady cry on the phone. This beautiful woman where anytime I've ever seen her, she's always had a fantastic smile on her face. She's really kind to everybody. And she just floated around. And you could see that like love of something coming off her. And it bounced off everybody. It was great. She had I couldn't get enough of it. I so enjoyed working there. And it all because of that one girl. And because I wanted to catch a glimpse of that smile. I did miss it when she wasn't there. Oh. But every time she used to sit down, talk to me, and we had fantastic conversations. We went out and done all sorts, played golf, God knows what. And it was always very pleasant. I never disrespected her or anything. It was just pure. Just, yeah, very much enjoyed it. Very much. And I definitely go back to those memories. They'll always be there. I never get rid of them. Yeah? So, it's one of those things, you don't know if you're allowed to say it anymore. Are you allowed to be romantic? Is it romantic? Or is it just creepy? Because I love a woman so much, I just never said anything in the first place. It's just daft, innit? We do daft things as bloody humans. I think that's one of my daftest. Not having a go. I think the regret is not having a go. Because I told that beautiful lady something stupid once, and it's pissed me off ever since. I've been kicking myself up the arse big time. Yeah. We sat down and had a conversation, and she said, oh, she wanted kids and things. Like a dickhead. I turned around and said, oh, I don't want kids. Oh, I'm sick of relationships. I don't want nothing. Oh, she's like, oh. And she looked really sad about it. I was like, and even my friend Wookie, he turned around and said, he said that. I said, I don't fucking know. I don't know. And I've regretted that little sentence ever since because she's such a nice person. Because I kind of didn't have my mum there, even though she was. And she didn't really seem to give a shit. To actually see a woman that's so beautiful look after a child and love that child and hug that child would be for something really nice. You know, to be a part of that family, that cuddle. And to imagine that, I'd always imagine it with the princess. The time for the story. What am I doing? See, some of them it's all been changed. I've got this. I have a superpower. I think that's what I need to talk about. So when I talk, people know I mean what I'm saying. I've got a superpower, and the superpower is I can speak from my heart. I always have done. It's something I've had since I can't remember. I can make up stories, rhymes, bloody all sorts, just off the top of my head. But when I've got the right inspiration about people or who I'm thinking about, it's very natural. See, I used to make Sarah, the princess, laugh on purpose all the time. I used to come up with everything because I used to really enjoy her smile. I used to really enjoy doing that. And I miss it. I miss her. She was very much a joy to be around. But that's all it is with me. See, I don't think I can be in a relationship because when I'm independent and I'm on my own, I make money. But whenever I'm in a bloody relationship, it seems to fuck up. And I'm sick of being skin. You know what I mean? So this is that bit in it as well. I can be a lazy bastard. I'm going to put that in. Yeah, coming back to the story. The story is out there. Yeah, I understand what I'm saying is just like fantastical or whatever, fantastical or something like that. You know what I mean? So it is just what I've experienced from my life and what I did see. So, yeah, but it is a story all at the same time. It's the only way to do it because otherwise it'll just be all over the place. Oh, right, I had that dream. But all my dreams through all my years have all come to make sense. Be it through telling my side of a story where I want to give people a feeling of this dread, this anger that seems to be in the world. But also, I want to try and give the other side of the feeling of what love and just niceness I've found within the world. And I just feel it might help some. But to truly break free from my thoughts and my dreams, I just got to tell these stories no matter what. Like I say, it's not just a love story, which is very much part of it. It should always be. It's fantastic. I love it. And the fact that you know you've found love, even though you ain't got it with you. You know what I mean? So, and you can. I have that ability to go back to my dreams and my thoughts. And it is very there and then. I enjoy that. So, yeah, I enjoy that smile over and over again. It's always there. That's what I mean. The smile in my heart is going to stay there forever, that one. Yeah? So, that's what I mean, how much I love this woman. Absolutely fantastic she is. But that's the thing about it. It's the thing. I don't see her with me. That's the thing. I don't. I do see kind of in dreams and clippets and daydreams that I've had. Because I do that. I see things. So when I have a daydream or a normal dream or my thoughts have just drifted away or whatever, I see exactly what I'm thinking. It's instant, straight away. And especially if I'm half asleep and I've been sleeping for a couple of days, I'm like I can be in like two different zones. And I'll be dreaming and thinking all the way. I just have to go to bed. It's mad. I'll just be laying there. But I don't see it with me. I don't. I never have. I saw her with some big lanky blonde geezer, you know what I mean, with a fake bloody sports car. It was an MR2 with a body kit. That's all I can describe it as. So I don't see her with me. Even though I want to tell her I love her, I don't, because I just don't want to hurt her, and so, because just in case. Because in a sense, all I can say at the minute is like, I have lost my mojo in a sense. I didn't really like Austin Powers, so I don't know why I'm using his phrase, but I got a baseball bat and smacked it around the world because I don't really want to go and find it because I can't be arsed right now. Yeah, but I've still got this love in my heart of this woman, and it's been keeping me going, and I really enjoy it. And the problem is, when I heard her cry on the phone, it broke my heart into so many little pieces. It took me ages to pick my heart back up because I didn't have the guts to say what I felt and just couldn't give my friend just that cuddle I thought she needed. And when you think about it logically and things like that, you think, don't be such a silly boy. Yeah? I could have just told her. She could have went, don't be stupid, Dan. You're more like a brother than a fucking lover. You know. It told me to sod off. But because I didn't do that, it's like I denied myself that love. I did. I denied it. I didn't want it. I pretended I didn't want it. And I was in that skin zone. And for whatever reason, I went and got with the wrong girl. I knew she was the wrong girl. It's because she was pregnant, man. Looking at her, you got to try and look after your kids. She was alright to begin with until she started on drinking and shit like that. But that's another story. I don't want nastiness in this. It's just that point. I must tell that bit of that. Just bleep it, innit? I don't know. But I want to tell it as it is. When I record this, it's just everything in my heart. But I do want to get to the story. But I do want to get this bit out of the way as well. To the princess. Yeah. All I can say is I think you're the most beautifulest woman I've ever met. You're kind, you're sincere, and I love the way you smile. And all I wanted to do, I was going to send her a golden ticket. But I did bottle it. I didn't think. I just don't want to hurt her. I'm too scared. Yeah, I feel too stupid. That's the other word, just stupid. Because I don't feel I should feel this way. Why am I not allowed to feel this way about this lady? And that's what bugs me when it comes to dreams and things like that and what's happening to me at the minute. She's become part of the story. I've been having problems with my head for a while when it comes to my dreams and my thoughts. I just thought it was just a story brewing, and it turned into something else. I had a bit of a moment where for 5-6 days, it was like I was in a trance, and the only way I can describe it is it's like Ghost Adventures when you see them having the exorcisms and that, they're shaking all over the place. I was fucking doing that. And it scared me, big time. And this is what I mean about my thoughts just coming out, what's bloody happening and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it could be for whatever, but I was eating normally, I was exercising, so it shouldn't have been nothing in particular, I don't know what it was, but it lasted for about 6 days. All I could do was sleep, absolutely sleep, and I was like a walking zombie for just more or less that week. And what come over me, I can don't ever think I can explain. But ever since I've had that, the stories have just got just clearer about dreams and putting them in order through my life, and they've all made sense going back from more or less the earliest dream I've ever had. So I've got to tell the stories, even if it's just for myself. But I feel I should share them. I don't know. The connection. See, part of my mind, one of the thoughts, it's a thought. I'm going to tell you the thoughts. That's all I'm telling you. That's all it is. It's a thought. It's a dream, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I can't say it is anything. Yeah, I can rationalise it. Honestly, I do think I'm crazy, but at the same time, I've never felt so sane and free for every time I speak something from my heart. So it has to come out. It has to come out. I think my guardian angel might have passed on a smile from Sarah. I really do. That day when she walked into the pub, the bloody door. Honestly, it was like a big ping. That's all I can describe it as. It's like, fucking hell, my God. Yeah. And I think my guardian angel, if she is real, passed on a smile. I really do. You know, one of those moments where you wish you had a bloody camera. If I took a picture, I swear there would have been 2 people in that doorway. And I think that's the connection. I think she passed on a smile, and it stayed with me all that time. So the smile in my heart is confusing, because I don't know if it's from Sarah or it's from my guardian angel. But either way, I love them both. Absolutely love them both. She was just a story. She was just a dream. She started as a dream. I thought it was a dream. But it was mad. I went through, like, bloody portals. I've always been going through frigging portals. I dream about that crap all the time. Absolutely all the time. Even from a young man. They're zipping here, there and everywhere, but they're always very clear. My dreams are just like 100% a memory. I don't forget them. They're always there, and they've become part of the story. But like I say, I like it because I'm going back on my memories and what I've seen and the detail. I really do want to try and push this in the way of a story, or try and make something so I can make people see what I've seen. Because I think it'd be great. But at the same time, I can't help thinking it's just me and my mental health, because of the way I've brought up. And it's just my mind coming up with all this stuff. Or is it allowed? I don't know. Connection. See, one of the thoughts in my head is it was a promise I wanted to give Sarah. That was the promise, a hug, and a golden ticket, just saying no, 1 mega Armstrong colour. There's a promise, and what was it? Just a love letter. What I wanted to say to her, just how much I thought she was a beautiful lady. I'm not going to bug her, because I'm just going to mention it a little bit in this story. I'm going to get it out there. I'm not going to push it in her face. If she gets to hear it, I hope she does realise it is for her. But also, by introducing my guardian angel through my stories. My guardian angel is called Sarah. So, I think I may as well just talk about my dreams properly. Where I have been with my guardian angel, what I've done, and how I've done it. But there's the bit that I need to get out of the way when it comes to the connection between both Sarahs. All my life I've had this certain pain in my heart since I was a kid. because I was mistreated and things like that. So when I say this, it's like proper. Don't really want to tell it, but from the age of 6, I think it's the first time I think I put anything like a blade or something like that to try and kill myself. Even though it was just a stupid attempt, nothing ever came of it. You cut yourself now and again. It was just one of those things. I didn't do it too bad, but yeah, I scratched myself all over the place and all that sort of thing. But that's from a young age. But ever since I was 6 years old, and all the way through my high school and everything else like that, I just had a fucking target on my back. Fucking punches, bashes, all sorts, all from all over the place. When I got my hand smashed with an hammer, that was just the last thing. Yeah, so I've gone and hidden. So one of the theories is it's just like, I think it's a safety mechanism where I didn't want to let myself fall in love with this woman because I was scared of myself. I didn't want to bring her into that common world that is me. But at the same time, all I've ever wanted, all that feeling I've ever wanted, it's like that's the point. Sorry, no. Go back to the story. Guardian angel in my dreams. Yeah, she's always been in my dreams. That's what I'm trying to say to you. But within the last year, she's not had. My friend's been in my dreams. Every single one of them. I don't normally have dreams about family or friends, ever. I just go off on these adventures, go and meet my guardian angel now and again, and some of them are mad, just crazy dreams. But the ones I remember, the ones that are important, because they always had good detail, and it always seems to meant something. I have told him in other stories and things like that, but this is part of the story and part of me just talking at the same time. I lost myself. Brain burp again, like. I'm always going to go in and out, in and out. The thoughts never stop. They've been swirling around in my mind for years, absolutely years. But I always just put it down to just me talking to myself. Never really listened. I just thought, I just thought, that's what I did. Just think to myself 24/7. But there's always someone talking back. I just thought it was myself. But it's only recently I've started to listen. I am starting to get a few answers. Things are going great. I'm more or less at the point where I can start my own little business. Things are getting better. It seems really good. So if I have just good bloody timing, or is it somebody trying to guide me at the minute? I don't know. But all I know is the connection. The connection. I think Sarah's an earth angel. That's the connection. I do think she passed on a smile. Yeah, just one of those smiles that gift she's wanted to give me, because I have felt her in my heart recently. It was great, absolutely fantastic. I told a story where that one where I says I've been up for 6 days. I had a bit of a meltdown. I did. I felt like a meltdown. It was bad, absolutely bad. But I'm alright. I don't want to do anything to say that. You know what I mean? I just want to tell my story and just keep talking and talking. So once I've finally got everything out of my mind, hopefully it'll all shut up. Because I'm sick of hearing myself. So I'm talking, I'm 42. There's 37 years in all this. I've got loads, absolutely loads of stories. Like I say, we've been, what we've done. They've been flying all over the place. Like I say, they're really real. I put them into the stories the best I can. I've got my Guardian Angel story. I've got the boss story. Yeah. I'm going to keep going. I've got loads of other little ones. So, but they're the fun ones. That's just the little play around. Looking about with the kids. What was on? I don't know, mate. Anything? Maybe as well. Is that not right to be said? I'm just being silly. Who was there for me? What else do you need to say something about me, Sarah? Hey? Am I telling this story? And there's a conversation in my head. Just trying to talk to her. Just see what comes out. But it don't work like that. It's just there. All of a sudden, you just drift away. Or when you get to sleep. Yeah, you can't force it. I can't purposely just think. But it is. I've just got to concentrate. But it's mad. It's like I've been somewhere else. But it's not quite heaven, right? Like that. But it is kind of. And I have recently spoken to God and things like that. Not like I've found faith, but in the way I've actually dreamt about Him a couple of times. I've got stories, all sorts, for that as well. I do speak about it in others. But yeah, I do think Sarah's an earth angel, definitely, 100%. I did say very tick to other boxes, and yeah, you can't deny it. See, I don't know what to say now. Maybe that's just it for the day. Do a bit more in a bit. No, because I keep talking. See, talking to yourself. You know what you're doing seems wrong, but you still do it anyway. So, why have I got this ability to talk to myself in this way? I can sort my own problems out and everything. Just don't have a girlfriend. You're not allowed one. Is that my curse or something? Remember that film, Good Luck Chuck? Mine's just the reverse. Fuck off, Dan. It is like sometimes I've been cursed. That's just part of the story. Is it something simple? What did I miss? Yeah? Why didn't I try? If it was you, what would you have done? Yeah? These are my shoes. You'd go for it, wouldn't you? You think, what a silly sod. But I wouldn't change it for the world. If I had to go and do it again, I would. Yeah, all over it again. Even if I knew, I had to just do it all the same. It was the rule, you know. I think sci-fi on that one. She was in my dreams. It bugged me. She's in my dreams. Nobody's in my dreams. No one. She's been there more times than ever. One of them was in an office. And all you can imagine, it kind of went at a tilt, and it was all glass. It was really nice, smooth concrete. And you could see the car park, and you had the little like steps going down. But it was like at the back, but it seemed enclosed a little bit. You could see the sunlight and everything. And she's just there talking to me, and we're just working together like we would do when we was in the pub. So it's never been nothing naughty like that when I talk about these dreams. But this was a mad one, because it was the first time I've had a dream where I've had Sarah there, my friend, but also Sarah, my guardian angel. But I never saw that until a bit later on, because sometimes when I do have a dream, I don't really think about it straight away. But that's the ability, that's the thing I've got where when I think and think and think about it, it's like, fucking hell, I remember everything. I can see the detail and everything. Oh. Yeah, I'm back now. Had a bit of a brain burp. Had to go back on that one. Yeah, but we was in this office. But the office was a nice office. A nice glass, like I say. But it does look fancy. Yeah, and she was in a nice suit. Nothing, naughty or like that, like I said before. She just had that smile on her face. But I've seen that smile before. Loads and loads and loads of times. Absolutely loads of it. If you had one memory in your heart that you've always had, is that one smile. But when I've always gone into my dreams and met my guardian angel, when I was younger, I've gone off to all these places with her. And she's got the same smile. Absolutely, 100% the same. I've seen it before, way before I even met her. And it does me in, but it's part of the story. It's fantastic. It's just the thought of it is just like somebody's sending me something through this beautiful girl, but at the same time winding me up and saying, "Nah, you're mine still, you silly bastard." You know what I mean? And I can imagine there's two people being in love back in the day. I don't know who they are. I've not got a name for him. It's just a man and a woman. That's all you can say. And this woman's just so beautiful. Nice blonde hair, blue eyes, and she just had a loving heart. And the man that she was with was in exactly the same way. It was just two people in love one day. Way beyond. Right. Because in the promise that I want to give a friend, it's almost like a promise to my guardian angels as well. Oh, the promise. I'm losing myself. Right, go back on yourself. You're going to have to learn to cut this. Yeah, we are, aren't we? Because we're in the office. We're talking about the office. Yeah? So, me and Sarah's in the office, and like I say, it's all made out of concrete, and they have the stairs going down to the right, and like I say, you can see the car park. But next part of the dream was in like a row of terraced, looked like offices, nice and clean. There was all different colours like green and whatever. Just normal terraced offices with bloody flats above them and all that sort of thing. But you had to walk all the way round. I can remember walking all the way around. You can see it. But then all of a sudden, was in one of the offices, but on the third floor, I think, and was leaning up against some cabinets. But one minute it was me and Sarah. But then all of a sudden, the house started to shake, the whole office. And I went out the back way, and the nice office wasn't there anymore. And all you seen was this like Victorian office come flats just shaking. And you can see the whole ground shaking. And I've run all the way around to see the front. And all of a sudden, the building collapsed from the first floor and it folded inwards, then just went flat. But then it gets to the next part of it. I was back up against the cabinet. But when I turned around, it was my guardian angel, Sarah. And she touched my arm, and all of a sudden, I was transported to this place. And the only thing I can describe it as is either a train station or a really busy bus station. I saw the kiosk behind me, and there was the ticket booth, and you saw all the people just running around. And it was on, they looked like all white tiles with like red lining and things like that. You had these benches, the crappy ones where you just got the metal wire coming through it. And I'm sat on there, and she took me somewhere, and all of a sudden, you're seeing this big massive office come out kind of out nowhere, look like the bloody TARDIS. And there's this guy sitting there, and the only way I can describe this geezer is he looked like David Bowie. He sat like him. He kind of spoke like him in a way, but he didn't 100% look like him. Same sort of hair, that sort of thing. And he was wearing a really jazzy waistcoat. I always remember that waistcoat. And it looked like galaxies. But he had a nice blue suit on with a tie and everything, and he had this bloody earpiece in, like Bluetooth or whatever. And my guardian angel was pointing. Now, this is one of the kind of the longest dreams I've had ever. You go in, you have little clips of the stuff, you come out of it, and you can go back in it again sometimes. It's really good. But it just lasted, she's just pointing at me. And this guy's come up to me, and I don't know what we was talking about or anything like that. But all I remember, he took me back down to the office. But that was, yeah, we weren't in the train station anymore. He just took me straight to this office, and it looked like something off Men in Black. You know, when they first go into that entrance and that guy sitting there with the paper, it was like that. But you got to think of this Victorian house, and it was like seats. That's it. So like someone just took that seat from the station and transported it into this house. Then we come out, and all you could see was this like building. But the only way I can describe it is if anybody's seen the film Nice Guy, and he goes into that bit where it was all real, and she explains what he was as all that sort of thing. But it was that. But you can see this building crashing down behind him. You see like helicopters all over the place and smoke and all sorts. And this guy's with me, but he's got a red briefcase, red leather briefcase. He didn't tell me who he was. All I know is my guardian angel pointed at me, and it's like I was at some sort of job interview. But I don't know what this was about. But when we went into this building, all I could describe it as was it looked like a jury podium thing. Yeah, someone was on trial, that sort of thing. I don't know what it was, but all I could describe it was world leaders. Everybody, prime ministers, you name it, anyone you can think of was in there, and they was all sad. The vibe was just like, oh dear, like babies with a smacked arse, that sort of thing. And the guy's, I don't know what he's done, he's made some sort of deal with him or something like that. And he gave him that red briefcase. And he's got me, and he's just pulled me away. I've not done anything, I don't know what I've done, you know what I mean? We walked out, and that was it. But we went back into that building. He pulled out these devices, and it looked like a yin and yang, but it was blue and like a black onyx sort of colour. And it glowed up in the middle, and it made like a yin yang, so to speak. Not exactly like that. But he pressed the two buttons. And I remember being amazed, because when I touched his arm, I could feel him. In the dream, it's like I was actually touching him, and I don't know what that was about, but whatever. But we got this beam of light, you know, beamed up by bloody aliens. And he did. You see in the entrance and everything, it all opened up. You know what I mean? It pulled us up, and he's just smiling at me. That's it. And as I got to the end of the dream, I saw what was in this like spaceship. I thought I didn't see anything. I just saw that light. That was it. And he pulled me through. And as I go through to the top of the light, I saw another world. Just briefly, absolute briefly. I so tried to go back into that dream. I was like, shit, you can't stop it there. My goodness, I like it when I have good dreams like that. Absolutely love it. But sometimes you can't help but think, does it mean anything? But I don't know. But it's a story. It's a dream. It actually happens. I'm hoping you can hear the passion in my voice so you understand I'm actually telling the truth. See, I've moved on now. I have. I do love the princess. I do. But I feel like sometimes I've got something to do. So, be it a story and free therapy session, putting it out there. It could be that. But why not? If I can get rid of it. Yeah, get rid of those thoughts, get rid of the stories, get rid of it all. I can get on my business. I'm going to look after my girls. So that's the other reason why I've decided to do this. Otherwise, I'd have just kept it to myself, I think. But I can't deny it any longer. I can't. That part of the dreams, yeah. So that's not the only one. So sometimes when I dream, it's a case of kind of sleeping for a few days. When I say I'm in that zombie state, it's just where you got a lazy weekend, that sort of thing. And I've had some good ones. But when I have a lazy weekend, I can dream pretty good. But it's not very often I go into the same dream. It's always something different. It can be anything, something daft. I've had one where I'm standing on a bank and you see these like full-size cars that look like something from Hot Wheels, or doing like drift competitions like what you see from Need for Speed, that sort of thing. So, yeah. My dreams are mad. Absolutely all of them. I've got loads. Absolutely loads. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. We're back to the story, innit? I'm missing it. So, what's the next part of the story? Yeah, that was it. The dam. Yeah, that's it. That's where we got to. Yeah, so the next part of the story, that guy is there, but he's not got his suit on. And it was a dam. It looked like an American dam. Big, massive thing it was. But there's loads of people there, all smiling, all happy, and we're working. We're doing something. Yeah, it looked like something from the army that they'd have with the security and all that sort of thing. But everyone's just working and blah blah blah. And I was building a ship. I stood on the wings, yeah, looking at it. It was massive. It just looked like a big, massive Harrier jump jet. But it looked different, but they're all turning it into something else. And it does look like a ship, and I don't know what the dream was about, but I went into that dream 3 times in a row, and that's quite rare. So when I talk about dreams in the stories and stuff, this is the memories that I'm trying to express of what I've had. But like I say, I don't know if they mean anything. I couldn't say. But I know I'm going to enjoy them, and I just hope so other people do too. I have got an angel called Sarah, and she's been in my heart since I was 5 years old. And I do believe now I've met that lady. She passed on a smile to me. And I feel like I'm the luckiest man ever. But that's the crazy bit out of the way. I just want to tell the stories now. Don't get me wrong, I want to make money from this. And if I can, just tell my stories. Or if it's just a load of shit. If people never hear it, I don't know. I'm going to try and write it down. This is why I'm doing it this way, so it's a dictaphone. It's a free dictaphone. I need to do it. You tell all the stories in parts. Some might be good, some might be bad. You never know. It might make me money. It's not all doom and gloom. I just need to get that something off my heart. That something, that secret. I don't want to keep it secret. That's the thing. I don't want to keep it secret. Why am I keeping it secret? Because I'm embarrassed to say it. I'm embarrassed to say what I've experienced and seen. And I'm telling you this because I need you to see what I say is the truth. It is driving me absolutely insane within the last year. All my thoughts, all my dreams, or everything has come and hit me at the side of the head all at once. My goodness. Even just speaking this now, it's just beyond me where it all comes from. But it's just an urge to do something. It's an urge to say something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if people need to ask me questions, but I'm afraid to say something to anybody. But is that mental health bit just the one that's putting me down? I'm judging people too much, thinking, it's just another love story. It's just another fantastical dream, isn't it? So that should be allowed, shouldn't it? See, that is the other side of it, the nice side. I'm a happy person. But when you get the down in the dumps, and I don't know where that comes from, I'm bloody pissed, sick of that. Oh, I can't wait to go back to work. 6 weeks. I was hesitating to go and work for Deliveroo's or one of the Just Eats. It turns out all you need is a pet. Your frigging license is pennies. So I'm trying to pay for that. I lost my bloody license at one of the holiday camps that me and the kids went to. So I'm having to bloody wait. Let's do mine what? I was ready to go. I was. So I'm having to wait a couple of weeks while I get this bloody license through. But all you need is the app. As long as you've got the appropriate equipment and all your insurance, you can work for yourself straight away. I'm thinking, yeah. So that's my plan at the minute. It's going to be brilliant. I love zipping around on a pet. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make some money off that. I reckon I can do like 50 hours around the kids, even though they go to school. Yeah, and easy money as well. Easy. I don't care if I made £5 an hour. I do, mate. Where were we going? Dreams. Well, the last one was the damn one, wasn't it? We've had the one with the guy that looked like bloody David Bowie. So, which other dreams are we visiting then? Come on. See, I feel I've got somebody looking after me, so I egg them on. Yeah, be it they're there or not, I'm not too sure. But I egg them on and say, come on then, what do you want? don't get many answers. Been mucking about EVPs and all that sort of thing, just to try and get a few answers, because within the last couple of years now, with all these thoughts coming together, I've looked at numbers, I've looked at all sorts. Every song is giving me a memory. I like my songs. I drift away in songs. I've got many I can play, especially to a certain lady. Oh, I could recite a poem, I reckon, that has lasted at least half an hour. Especially with the right inspiration. I can just go. Give me the 2 or 3 things that you want to say. I can normally put the words into the right order. I'm pretty good at that. But I hide that. I see it as an embarrassment. The fact that I can, don't know. I've got ideas for all sorts. I've got loads of inventions in my head. I'm just stuck here thinking about working with deliverers. It's like, how do you expand your mind? I do feel stuck. Maybe it's just something simple like go school and do that course down. But my mind does feel stuck. Yeah, back to the point, wasn't it? See, when I was young, like I say, I was mistreated, so the point of the matter was, because I felt so crap. Yeah. Done that bit. Don't know. Yeah, we've done that bit, I know. Dreams. Dream. All sorts. Absolutely all sorts. What are we talking about then? So, don't have to go through some dreams of Sarah to get the idea of it. Because I want to make some of this for children, to let them know there is a guardian angel out there. Because now we've got this technology and we've got this way of just getting your thoughts out there. They're not going to hear all of it because I don't think it's for their ears. But the nice bits, explaining who Sarah was. So Sarah is going to start becoming my stories. She's my character. She's inspired by my friend. But this is Sarah, my guardian angel I want to talk about. The first love of my life. The only love of my life. Yeah, someone I've never seen. But every time I close my eyes, I go to sleep. All I see is my guardian angel looking after me. And that's why I feel Sarah has that connection. Because I think she's an earth angel. So she's just been able to send that message through. You understand? So, ping, there you go, Dan. Pum. It's just took me so long to understand it. But if it's just a nice story, either way, I've enjoyed it. Yeah, what do we want to talk about with Sarah? Where did she come from? I'm not doing the story again because this was about my guardian angel and stuff and how she came about, where we've been, and these are the dreams I've had. This not part of the experience I had when I was a kid. The two were totally separate. That was just unexplainable. I've wanted to always try and prove that, just for myself, not for any other purpose, by just getting hypnotized. Because when you see on the telly and they're saying they can hypnotize someone to see who they was in their past life, I keep thinking in my head, well, if they can do that, can I visit that memory of a dream? Is that actually possible to do that? So I am, once I got the bike and everything I need for my business sorted, it's one of the first things on my list to just try and see if I can get any answers for myself. Because I find it very bizarre when I've looked at numbers and things either through Bibles or through songs or whatever. I've had something guiding me, showing me the numbers, like 13, 27, things about earth angels and ladies divine and how they are in my story. I think someone's been forgotten about. But that's in other stories, that's not in this one. I just want to talk about the dreams, about me and Sarah. I want to get there. Sarah. The thing about Sarah, the thing about the memory, what bothers me the most, is when she's cuddled me is her age. Every time I've seen her, she's always been the same age. From now till then. But every time I've seen her, and I'm going to hold her in my arms, yeah, it always felt so nice. And it was a dream, guys. It was always a dream. There's one where she was standing at the gates of a London park. You see it on the nice cobblestones, and she was dressed like nice black frock. Normally she has blonde hair. This time she had a black foot perm with like one of them bloody tea cozies, doily things on her head. And she just smiled at me. And I said, "Where am I?" She said, "You're not allowed to know yet." That pissed me right off. That. You're not allowed to know yet, that. And it was the first time I actually think I proper touched her, where I could kind of feel her. Now that was quite. Was that an early dream? I don't remember. But I remember that dream going into it. We was in. You can see the London Park on your left-hand side. I know what the London Park is. Well, I think I've got a theory. And you can see people in a circle. And you can see the fence and the gate and everything on your left-hand side. And you see the road, it's all cobbled. But it was nice, clean brick. All of it. Every last bit of it. But the black railings were quite dark. You can see it. They're the ones with the spikes on top, that sort of thing. But then you got to this big gate. Massive. But then the house, the alleyway that I was walking down, it opened up to the shops and all that sort of thing. And all you could see was this big cobbled like shopping area for all these people that was around. But all the carts was all overturned on their side. It looked like a bit of a mess. But even the carts were just clean. There's nothing in them. And she was there in the corner. And I remember seeing her. And there was that thought, that spark, that something that was ping. I got that ping. And I knew she was there. I used to always get that. So I've run up to her. And that's when, I held her for the first time. It was great. Like I say, guys, it was just a dream. Yeah, I understand it could be my mind from not being treated very well as when I was young. So, yeah, I'm going to put the logic on there. So I know it's out there, but I need to run with it. I need to get it out there. This is what seems right in the way to how to explain who my guardian angel is. Because I told the story of where she actually came from. So is that something that's been put in my head? But the story is what I come up with as far as I'm concerned. Yeah? I had thoughts and things of the guardian angel. That's why the stories came out. But I just thought it was that. And it's turned into so much more. I do find it bizarre my dreams of us just lined up. And they're telling me a story. Every last one of them. But they're all in order. From the first dream up until whatever now. I've not dreamt properly for quite some time. It's just little clippets now. No, I've had nothing strong. It's never been this long. Is that what it is? Just talking about Sarah. I think that's what it is. To talk about Sarah. I think I'm afraid to tell the story because my friend has got the same name. I think that was the paranoia of it all. I didn't want to get it confused. That's why I wanted to explain it. I'm not just talking about the Sarah in the real world, that beautiful lady I was talking about. I am talking about Sarah, my guardian angel. And I hope I can turn my stories into something nice. Story. The one I was talking about before. Oh. Right, so we just keep talking, don't we? Yeah, don't turn it off. Don't turn it off. Keep it going. When you're asleep, keep it going. We've got 202 hours. That was a good memory card. That was a good one there. Come on. what we got for each other? There must be somebody in there that wants to do better. So let's do better, guys. Need money. Bless me with all the riches in the world, so I can go and save many people as possible. Bless me with that, and I make that promise. Just guide me in the right direction. I need to be a stalker, not him. See, that's just a little prayer that I wish. See, I've got this desire to do something. And it's the thing that bugs me the most, the thing I need to let go of. But it's hard to speak it. I've got this overwhelming feeling to just take my arms and try and get as many children as possible, give them a cuddle, take them on a starship and take them somewhere nice and beautiful where they get looked after, where women, love children with their hearts.
And the men.
Finding some sort of magical hyperdrive. Because I've saved some child, and he's that clever. He's come up with what we need, so we can actually turn it into an efficient energy and shoot amongst the stars. That's one of my nice dreams, that, where I save the kids. I'm always saving kids. Things like Peter Pan. Yeah, they relate to me. Never an orphan like that, but I still lived amongst the streets. It was the safest place to be sometimes. It's like one of my all-time heroes is Tina Turner. Lovely lady. When she sung that, "What has love got to do with it?" I was really quite a young kid, and I quite enjoyed dancing to that. Oh dear, what I must have looked like as a kid dancing that down the street, because I kind of emulated what she was doing. You know what I mean? I used to love that song. But she came with one of my heroes, one of my guardian angels. And this is where it starts to get a bit weird, but I've seen that smile all the way through my life, through people that sing, actresses, people I've met, girls I've met. Yeah, I've met that ping all over the place. And it is like somebody's given me a smile here, there and everywhere. And it can be through a song. Songs inspire my dreams like you wouldn't believe. And I can go into a song and drift away so quick. And the memories and the stories that come from it are so good. I can more or less remember them all. But I dance amongst the stars with my guardian angel. Beyonce, the Cadillac Records. We've played those tunes over and over again. And I could be on the bus. Anyway, once a tune gets in my head, it's as if it's a song that she likes. And sometimes it just feels like she's dancing with me. And it can take any certain song, and it drifts you away to somewhere different. But is that a mental health thing? See, I do get confused when I have those feelings. Is that a mental health there? I've just put myself in such a good, happy place. Or can I say it's real? Because I don't want to upset anybody. But it feels real. The love feels real. Like I say, yeah, we're going through people, isn't it? Oh, a lovely song. She's got a lovely voice, Beyonce. And she's got that smile. The smile I want to talk about. Yeah, because Tina Turner's got that smile. Whoopi Goldberg, she's got that smile. That big smile. Where was the lady off Loose Women? One of the Nolan sisters. She's lovely. You know, the sort of ladies you just want to say, "Hey, Doc, how are you doing? You fancy a cup of tea?" You just have a chat. Yeah, you know, you'd have a lovely conversation and just that lovely little bit of a moment with a beautiful woman. And this is where it comes to the stories about the ladies that divine. I think they've been forgotten about. That's the story I got in my head for that. As if something way along the line, some sort of nastiness has taken over and it's spread throughout the world. I do explain it in my stories, but I did it in a nasty way because I want to try and promote a feeling into people's hearts about how nasty things can be. and how if we just sort it out, we can all be quite happy. I have to go over that. It's part of the dreams, it's part of the thoughts. This is what needs to be recorded. What are you thinking about changing the world, becoming Prime Minister? Mad things, yeah? But they're all dreams, guys. But they're all thoughts that seems to be giving me something, as if I have got the answers. I have got a thought of an electric city where we've got square boxes like cubes, but they're hollowed out and they're all covered in solar panels. And you've got the glass windows at the front, so when the sun shines it goes all dark, but that's the only window the family's got. But to the top left of that cube you've got two beds, like cabin beds, Chinese pods. I've briefly gone over this, but I'm glad I'm back on Electric City. So I want to explain it properly. So this is the dream, this is the thought, this is the business plan. This has been in my head for quite some time. I don't know if I should talk to that guy from bloody Tesla. The fact he knows electrics and stuff. I've got a design for some sort of generator of sorts that's in the ground because I've flown around it in a dream. But I can design it, I can draw it. It had these like metal rods that went into water. And it had something like rubber or something on the bottom of it. Now you can imagine it's all these cubes together, but there's all solar cubes, but there wasn't no light coming in. It's just like these lightning rods coming off the top. But I remember it was all full of water, almost up to the first lot of cubes. But you see the rods underneath going into the whatever rubber. I don't know what it was. It was black either way. It just seemed like rubber. But the water was really dark blue. And you see shimmers of white going through it and all that sort of thing. But really dark. I remember the colour because it all looked the same. And all of a sudden, I thought I was going to get sad. There's some like gold on these lightning rods at the top, going through all these solar cubes. And what it is, that solar panels outside, in say like a flower, and it was collecting the sun. But what it did, it put some sort of energy into these solar cubes, and because it bounced off the walls, it powered up the solar panels with a different sort of energy source, and that's what run the city. So bear with me, it's sci-fi, but the design's there. I can design it, but I thought I was going to get zapped because this fucking electric was bashing around all over the place, and it was one of those dreams where you wake up sudden. You know, when you're gasping for breath, like, oh, fucking. And that was a good dream. I've always had a good memory of that. But I couldn't believe it. But yeah, back to these cubes. So you got the two kids at the top. It is designed for mum, dad, and the two children. I have talked about them in another story so far. Just a normal family. They could be anybody, any religion. They could come from any part of the country, any part of the galaxy. You never know. Okay, it's one of them. Mum and dad. I wonder if they get mentioned. That program that you got, yeah, but they're up there. But then you've got your kitchen right in front of you, yeah, and it's all flat, but all the appliances that you've got, right, are all electric. Every last thing, your washing, everything. But I've got an idea for the washing and everything as well. Oh, yeah, but electric city. Come on, let's not drift away. But yeah, so yeah, we've got our kitchen, we've got our appliances, but each appliance has got a battery, and what you do, you plug it into the wall during the day because you're all going to have jobs. We're all going to share the jobs. That's what we do there in Electric City. Everything what we do in the way of job, what you think of, yeah, we share a lot of it. I have dreamt about it. It has become my story. Yeah, it's part of the story. The thoughts that are there 24/7, be it through music or whatever. It's not just all lovey-dovey stuff and all that sort of thing. It is proper thoughts of something that could be more wonderful. So, do my stories inspire something like that? Will it get to a young kid and inspire his heart and think, oh yeah, there's something out there? Am I spreading a serious smile to maybe a poor child that might be hurt or feel unwanted? So, this is the inspiration behind it before, because I want to spread Sarah's smile, because I've seen it so many times in the beauty of others. About to try and explain Sarah. Won't go in there, will we? We're in Electric City. See, I cannot say enough how real it seems. But at the same time, how nuts I think it is. But yeah, electric sit-out. So yeah, we've got a kitchen. And all our appliances plug into the wall. So during the day, the sun basically charges the house. Yeah, it charges your appliances. It charges everything. But you've got these cubes, and you've got 4 sockets, and basically you take the cubes out, and it's for your mobile phones, your tablets, your internets. That's going to be sorted out. It'll be easy, won't it? You know, you just needed a Wimbledon thing on top of the roof. Yeah, but I've seen that on the lamppost, not on the actual house. The house was just one big solar cube. 1, 2, 3 sides. Yeah, but they're all the same, and they're all looking into each other. And the reason for the dark windows is so your neighbours can see it. It's like 3 curtains, so to speak. But in the middle was like there's an epicenter. But all the roads was blue, like covered in the solar panels as well. Yeah, like it was all connected, and it was all connected to this one battery under the floor. But then you had all other batteries all the way round. And the only way I can describe it, if you want something in your head, if you watch Iron Man, and that guy's got that model in his car, what his dad made, with that world in the middle. Think of that, but more extended in the middle. You've got more space. Because in the middle, like it was an epicenter, you had everything that you can think of, but everything was run by solar panels. The cars, everything. We used batteries for everything, and it was all, anything that we collected in the way of energy, all went into these batteries under the ground. And for some reason, those batteries was what was charging that thing I said I was that generator of sorts. So you just imagine it all going in. And I don't know if it's possible to make. I understand that is just a fantasy story. But would it be possible to make that? Do we have the ability to make an electric sit-out so people from certain countries that are fighting over their food to try and survive have got somewhere to live? Something easy to put up. This 4-sided cube, we can like flat pack it and everything else, just a few batteries to plug in. All those people in those countries have got the house but no house. They'd have a home. But in this country ourselves, we could have something we can afford. You just slot them in together. There you go. You know what I mean? You got to make that circle. Can we collect the energy through that? Even the lamppost, it can have its own little solar panel. It says it's moonlighting as well, so you have 2, don't you? And a little wind farm just to power that one lamp. It's all free. Have a go. Could we make that? Would it be too expensive? I'd love to pass this on to that Tesla guy, just that little bit of an idea. I have got a plan. I have. And as crazy as it is, you can have it, because if it helps anybody else, I couldn't care less from it. Couldn't. I am so passionate about electricity. It's one of my favourite stories. But it's one of those I'd like to try and make reality. If I have to start with a caravan, put my own bit of food on there, learn how to do it where you can make it grow quicker. Like they're doing these farms, the polytunnels and all that, with your fruit and stuff, bloody hell there. That's Electric City as well. It had farms all the way around it. Yeah, I could see the farms. People are working on the farms. You all did like 20 hours a week. And when I say you all did, it's like I'm looking at some sort of world or something like that. I've been there a couple of times. It has been good dreams. You got kids going around on hoverboards and that, because one of them fell off and caught me and did it. I remember that. Oh shit. Electric City, yeah. A skate park, and had like sort of thing on the outside. The only thing I could describe was like a little roller coaster. It just went round the city for the kids to muck about on and everything else like that. That's quite weird. I didn't know what that was in the dream. Everything else made sense, just normal shops, and there's a place where you could take your laundry. So you didn't have to, it was a job, because there were so many people just sharing everything. So you didn't need your house in the day. Everything got turned off. Every bit of energy we could collect, be it from wind, sun, you name it, we grew everything that we wanted for ourselves. And I've seen it on computer games and everything else like that. There's all those inspirations. When I'm thinking about something, I go and play the game and go, fucking hell, that's what I'm thinking. I've never even played the bloody game, and it's like, oh, hang on a minute, that could be that could be this. So it's helped in a way, because I've had a visual. Well, I'm nicking everybody else's ideas. I don't know. Cleverly somehow, not known, but I'm nicking everyone's ideas and put a story together. Electric Sitter. Sarah's been an electric sitter. I think she's the boss. I'm sure she is. She has looked after me. She's not like no soft angel. She's one of those angels I think that would kick my arse. And it does feel sometimes I've got a connection to this something I can't see and I can't feel. But like I say, I'm confused. It's just the shock of losing my brother and actually just not getting that attention I did when I was a kid. But I cannot deny the overwhelming feeling in my heart when I think about that moment when that lady cuddled me for the first time. And now I've seen it through all these people. I can't tell you enough. She feels real. But I want it to go away. I like the dreams, I do like the dreams, but I want it to go away. This is why I'm telling this story, on the hope that just getting it out there, I can put it all to rest. It's out there. People know about Sarah. I've told the story. I think that's the bit. I'm just trying to tell you who she is. I think she wants to be known somehow. I don't know why. I've put on another story what I think we could do if you ever want to feel that same sort of feeling. That's why I give the good side and the bad side. But the good side is meant to give you a feeling in your heart that I've had since I met two women. But I never realised it until I fell in love. See, I don't want to go back to the bush yet. I want to talk about my dreams now. See, I've lived a right good life. Working in Pontins, not Pontins, I have Butlins, not bloody Pontins. That was the only place to work. You were talking about, yeah, electric sitter. Yeah, you could just start with a caravan. I have seen the cubes. Somebody's done one for really fancy, about 15 grand. So for that sort of money, if you could put the kitchen and everything, potentially could make it for about £25,000. So simple. You can have bed for mum and dad, can't you? Or a separate one if you just want a bit of space. Yeah. So the whole idea is just to contain space. So when you're not in that cube becomes that tool to collect the energy, and it all goes into that one battery. Yeah. That generator, and it just flies around. And it creates a different energy, and it powers the streets and everything. So you can do the hoverboarding and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it's like a network. I can see it, or the piping and that. So if you can imagine you've got houses left and right here, and all the way around you, and you can imagine that you're standing on just a big giant egg, I suppose, and it's sparking all over the place. And you can see those sparks going to a cube. You see the cubes going up to the houses, yeah, to the lamps, to the lampposts, all the way over. Just this light blue cable. I had to connect it all. See, I told you the design's there. Maybe this is why I need to do this, so I can hear it for myself. It's my business plan. I can't spell. I don't do it very well. So, one of my business ideas, how do I get to build the electric sitter? But there's a reason why I want to make an electric sitter. I want to save people. I do. I didn't come back to it, did I? That overwhelming urge just to save people. Why do I have to bother? What is it about that feeling that I'm getting that I feel like I need to tell people about Sarah? I don't know. What's the reason? It's just my mind. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. It's like both Sarahs. I kind of miss them both in the same way. Exactly the same way. They got the same smile. They kind of got the same silhouette from dream to real person. Yeah, I don't always see the face of my guardian angel. She'd been a little monster once when I was on the spaceship. Yeah, I remember that one. That was freaking cute as out. Yeah, but I was more interested in the ship. It was like a good dream, bloody fantastic one. It was. Detail was just good just as good as normal. I can't describe my dreams enough. But yeah, to meet someone that you think you've already met before but you never have, and later on figure out that smile was meant for someone else. Yeah, it was meant for me. But yeah, what a beautiful girl. What a beautiful girl. I've always wanted to try and put a smile in her heart. I was just... See, I don't want to come back to that. That's it. We're done. We're on Electric City. You've drifted again. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Not doing it. Who will always be... Yeah. I'm not singing. I can't be asked with that in a minute. See, now I've said the story of what I've just said about Electric City. All I've got in my head is the design again. So when that starts happening, you start thinking about things. It's instant. It's there. So I reckon somebody else will come to the story later on. So it's like on the side of the houses and that you see like veg plots and stuff all over the place in the parks and everything. So potentially the kids can literally pick fresh bloody strawberries out of a bush. Yeah, knowing they're playing on the park. That's just. I don't know if you could get them to grow that quick if they could do that, but yeah, it's just that's what I've seen anyway. I can remember the hoverboards and the skateboarding. Yeah, it was a wicked park. I wanted to have a go. Sometimes when you're in a dream, you just stood there, you can't move. Other times you do move around. But this is one of those where I'm just looking at the city. Yeah, and it was a brief moment, but it was nice. But I got all the detail I needed. But like I say, when I go back to my memories, I can remember more and more and more. As if like somebody else telling me something else, even though I know I was only there for a moment. So I'm at this story. The crazy dude that thinks he can... He's been touched by the kiss of an angel. Yeah. Do you think it's that? See, my thoughts come from everywhere. I like that one. Touched by the kiss of an angel. See, I wanted to make a story called Sarah's Smile. Because that seems fitting. Sarah's Smile. What a character. Sarah's Smile. I've got a story there, but sometimes I'm not ready for it. I have to keep thinking and thinking. So if I've got 2 or 3 stories going off in one time in my head, it can get a little bit confusing. You do have to concentrate sometimes because you can bounce from one to another. It would bug me the way my brother passed, which is one of the things recently I've had to let go of. But like I say, it was the first time I saw Sarah. I just don't know. Now this is just a story, guys. It is a thought. It's not nothing I've dreamt. It's a theory on what I've come up with. What might have actually happened when my brother passed away. Do you think an angel came down to get my brother, but saw me in so much pain? She took me there for a bit. Even though it only felt like a day, I can assure you now, it felt like 3 months had passed. I don't remember fuck all. Absolutely fuck all. So I'm a little bit hypnotised. I want to go back to there. You're going to get a fucking answer. That's going to be the one, isn't it? Who the fuck are you? See, I'm talking to myself there. Mind's wandering. Don't keep it to yourself. I've got to say it. See, I'm putting the mental health into this story as well. Yeah, I'm not hiding who I am. Vocally, I'm not anyway. That's me talking to myself. It's get carried away. Talk about. You can always edit it. It doesn't have to be in this order, does it? It's all different. So what can we talk about next? There's on pontins and stuff I forgot about, isn't it? Sarah. Right, let's tell a story about Sarah. I've always wanted to prove I did go over it a little bit before, didn't I? But I think I better explain this one and how I think I could prove just some of it. And it is just a personal thing, a personal idea. Like I say, I want to get hypnotised. I want to see if I can go back to any dream. Doesn't matter. I love playing VR. It is so like, oh dear. Oh, okay. It's a good compensation. Let's put it that way. Especially when you stand up in the day. I love VR, but I've got glasses, makes me get all dizzy, so I can't play for too long. But I do enjoy it. But it is like that. That's what my dreams are like. If you're going into a VR headset and you see what you're doing, that's me going into a dream at night, during the day, daydreams, whatever. But like I say, just for a song, all I've got to do is close my eyes for a moment. But it could be anything. So you got songs in my head now. It's guitars above you. Yeah, that's Beyonce again. My days and nights are over. Well, out of my head. I've always liked a strong female voice as well. Yeah, I never even finished that, did I? About all the famous people that I've seen and that smile and things like that. There was one girl, and I was signing on once. I had to go to this building where I first started travelling. Yeah. I got loads of jobs from that. There's this girl at the reception, and she was blonde, very, very, very nice. Her manner, the way she spoke to you, was more or less the same as my friend. And so Sarah's not the only person I've met. She's just the girl I fell in love with because I thought she was so beautiful. So I have met many girls, many. I've been trying. I've tried to be as charming as I can be and as gentle as I can be to every woman I've ever met. But I was famous in Butlins because not because I slept with the girls. They used to like sleeping with me because they liked to give me a cuddle. So not anything naughty ever went off. He did now and again. Don't set me wrong. I'm no angel. I'm not that daft either. But most of the time, they came for me for a cuddle. They used to use me. Cheers, thanks, that's it. But I got a warm bed for the night. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I was famous for that. Apparently, the lads were jealous of me. I was like, oh, right, fair enough. That was a weird feeling, that, jealous of me. Fucking hell. And they couldn't figure it out. That was the daft thing about that. It's as if they couldn't figure it out. I had to tell one lad, I says, if you like the girls and stuff like that, I says, just treat them nice. It says, you'll be amazed how far it gets you. And he did. He about 3 weeks later, and he's pulled this bloody guest, and he's like, put his fingers up, like, yeah, Dan, look at that. And he was so proud. Yeah, there's a wicked smile on his face. Don't teach you how to work, but I could teach you how to pull. I love Butlins. Yeah, you could be as naughty as you want, yeah, and get away with it. And it was just so fun. I'd love to just urge anybody out there that's ever been in care or you're in a situation where you're not doing anything. Go and have a bit of fun in these places. The jobs are absolutely fantastic. If you have the ability to do it, just do it. Just get your bags, bugger off. Tell your mum and dad you'll be back for Christmas. Yeah, go and enjoy yourself. There's IB, there's all sorts. If you have got the goodies, go and jump off those bloody cliffs in bloody Thailand and that sort of thing. Yeah, off you go. Don't hesitate. Just do what's in your heart and just travel. Because whenever I've travelled with my guardian angel, be it in stories or whatever, or I've chilled out with my friend in the real world, I've always felt happy. It's always felt nice. But I believe in things like soulmates, guardian angels, obviously now. But it took me a long time to admit this. It has. I've had to kind of. When people say you found some sort of faith, I suppose it's along that sort of line. But I don't know who she is properly. I couldn't explain that. I can't say she's a god or anything. But all I know, she's my guardian angel. Okay? I know her name's Sarah. See, that sounds desperate when I'm trying to explain that. I didn't like that then. Yeah, come back on it. I don't want to sound desperate saying she is real. I don't want to point it in your face. What I'm saying is what I feel. Because what I feel is what matters to me the most, because it doesn't really matter. It's my story. If nobody listens, then that's fine. I feel like they will. I feel like there's some hope out there. Me trying to explain this beautiful woman. She got nice, long, white hair. Yeah, and she had it up in a ponytail and things like that. But it was like this one dream was like a two-part dream where it took me back to that first memory where she cuddled me. Yeah, and all of a sudden it was kind of like a modern dream where we was both more mature, and she was still the same age, but she cuddled me the same and everything like that. But she was in like some sort of what can I describe it as? It's angel armor, but it looked like lace underwear, but it was all shimmery and shining. It was protected her and all that sort of thing. But it looked really nice and everything. It wasn't naughty, but she had this blue robe on and everything. And she spotted me, and she did the same thing she did when she ran away from me when I was in that first dream. Yeah, and she shot up this tower so quick. You know what I mean? She laughed at me as if she was taking the piss. I don't know. That's the thing. She does. She challenges me. And all she's done is give me a cuddle all that time. But I've been noticing for so long. I've just had to let go of everything. Absolutely everything. I had to make peace with the one man I thought is just it made me so angry. I thought I just wanted to just hurt the guy. But you know something, you can't carry on just thinking like that. You just gotta let go, haven't you? I try to be the nicest guy I can. I've got the nicest heart you'll ever meet. I know that's tooting my own horn a little bit there. But every time I try to give my heart away. And I'm not saying I'm all innocent and things like this. There's a relationship there, but the ladies I've been with don't seem to be able to accept the love that I give. I like to look after the ladies in my life. I look after them. Yeah? I don't want to be your lapdog or like that, you know what I mean? I'm not taking the piss. Yeah? And I don't want to talk about finances unless it's together. You know what I mean? I want someone to love me for who I am and what my heart's got to give. And it's weird because I feel how much I was in love with that woman who gave me that lovely smile that day in the pub. But I still think I'm in love with somebody else. But I feel like I'm going to meet someone. And it's someone special. And it's like I'm looking for her. And that's when the thoughts start getting a bit annoying, really, because it's like, what's this now? It's a different part of the story. But when the stories go off in my head, they go round and round and round and round until they kind of make sense in a way. I got pictures of the graveyard from some of the first pictures of the dreams that we had when we was younger. And this graveyard was soon the park, the one I told you about, where she was standing outside the gates and stuff. This graveyard was the park, but it was a graveyard, but it was more than back in the day. It's back in time, so to speak. You know what I mean? And it's where I first learned how not to fall in a dream when I was flying. I used to fly all over the place in my dreams. I did stop when I was older. Yeah, it did stop. It's very rare I fly unless I'm trying to fly a plane or something. But yeah. I lost myself. It's one of my thoughts about Sarah and what scares me the most about the feelings that I have. Like, I just want to admit them. So people want to come and analyse me or do a ghost thing on me or anything. I want to prove it in any way possible. I do, because I want to prove it to myself more than anything else. But I know there's technology out there where you can just have a bit of fun with it. Yeah? Hypnotism, definitely. On my list, 100%, I will do it within the next year or so, hopefully. I'll start getting some answers for myself. I might not even record them all. This is just that story, hopefully just to get it out of the way. But what else was it? Flatliners. Just if you was allowed to do that, I'd have a go. I know it's the more extreme idea, but meditation. I'm trying to do that at the minute. Just trying to see if I can get that something where I can connect whatever is being said to me. Because even though I think I'm bonkers, you've got to look at the telly and think, well, there's mediums, there's people that can talk to who, there and ever. They're on the telly all over the place. So am I classed as some sort of medium that was able to speak to an angel one time? Because maybe she could have visited me when she came to get my brother. Just give me a bit of a cuddle for a while, but it just transported me to where she was. Yeah, she didn't actually take me anywhere. I just saw what was nice. Okay, I don't know. Because we did have a big square in front of our garden. Yeah, we had a big garden, but then we had a big patch of grass. So to be fair, you could have put my dream on that grass where I was going. That was the dream, wasn't it? That was the first dream ever. And Sarah came to visit me in a dream. Because I lost my brother and he knocked her on the road. I didn't quite get there. I did have a bit of a breakdown and it was part of the story. This has been part of that therapy that I put out on YouTube. But it was a really long story. I got angry with the government and things like that. But it was all that rage that needed to come out about how I've been mistreated at school and I was left on my own. And how when my brother died, I was left on my own. Just to deal with something when... But yeah, that one dream, that one thought, it seems so real. I can remember going into it, I can remember coming out of it. I remember now not remembering. It's like, what was that as a thought? That was weird, that one. It was just there. It's like, I don't remember. And it's because my mum told me that when my brother died and that happened, she tripped over me and things like that. I do remember that. Remember my mum tripping over me? Then I blanked out. And I don't remember nothing. I don't remember living in that house for any much longer. Yeah, I remember a couple of the protests. Just two, the big ones. I remember the two protests because it pissed me off because I had to freaking walk for so long. I was protesting for traffic lights along the road. But yeah, I was hurting then. But yeah, I don't remember nothing. And the next memory I remember is when we was moving, because I remember the old Ford Transit van that moved us. Had that extended back and it was red. And I woke up. So I remember teased a bloody little bike out of the back. Apparently it was somebody else's stuff. They were just moving that on the side, you know what I mean? Cashing in that, so to speak. There was just a couple of bits of my mum's. I don't remember, something like that. I remember smashing into the freaking wall at the bottom. Oh my god, the first time I've been on a bike without stabilisers and the brakes weren't on it. There's this massive brick wall at the bottom and I cracked my head so hard on that wall. And I swear I've done it God knows how many times after that. The amount of times I've smashed into that wall, it's got my name written all over it in blood. Oh dear. I remember coming out of it. That's the thing. I remember coming out of that. I was standing up and I'd just been given this bike more or less. So where that 3-4 months of my memory went, I don't know. But once shortly after that, I had an accident. I mean, maybe a couple of years after that. I landed on my head, scraped my face. I found this other bike in a bloody brook. I tried to do it with wheeler because we had these like sleeping policeman bumps in our day. But it's like proper ramps. We used to make all sorts out of them. And apparently the wheel came off the front and the folks dug into the fucking tarmac, whatever. And it sent me forward. I must have done a cartoon splat. You know that bit where you see the face all bruised and everything at the same time? Boom. My face was all gone, my teeth had gone, but I blacked out for about 4 days. But I went back. I went back through that tunnel and stuff, and I was in the garden, but she wasn't there that time. Nobody was there. I just stood in the garden. And I could see the tree and this church, and it was showing me the top of the church and the detail and everything. I've seen pictures now because I've had to look for answers. You can't have all these thoughts in your head and think, what the bloody hell's this? So I have taken pictures now. I've seen depictions of certain angels I've seen. It's given them names, but it's not the same names. But I've said it in other stories. I must come back to that soon anyway, because it is part of it anyway. About the garden the second time. So yeah, nobody was there, but the garden looked exactly the same. I could always remember a tree being on the left-hand side. There was some sort of path that went around as well. But like I say, it was the same sort of layout as the path that was in that where my mum fell over me, where I had blacked out in the first place. So yeah, the shock of it, everything else like that. But I can't tell you enough how real that all felt. There's no way of describing how I can tell you that I felt that hope. I felt that something. That day my brother died. I've been touched by an angel. I don't know. That's the bit that scares me. That's the bit that embarrasses me. I don't know if I'm allowed to think like that. Is it real? I don't know. I've always believed... I didn't want to believe in religion. I choose to ignore it. But it's all there. Not just one. All of them. So I found answers between quite a few different books and things that's lead me to the stories I've been telling. Those little answers when I said I've had those little glitches or something in my mind. Oh, look at this, look at that, be it through a number, song, whatever. Even something like a poem that I've come up with myself where I've just come out, I've just spoken something's just come out. And all of a sudden I've started thinking, EVPs, I've been doing all that on the silly. Not silly, just having a laugh with my kids and that, because I did one for one of my young ones. She seems quite interested in it. She wanted to go to the graveyard with this bloody EVP, but it kept talking. There's loads of words coming through and things like that. I'm thinking, all right, look at this as a con. But it was getting really funny. And they went to one of the graves, and the fucking thing growled at him. They got so scared. Then it did say run, because it's the one where it records the word as well. It writes it, not just records it. They ran. It was so funny. But even though it was a con and it was just a free app, nothing that you think would be something, it's just a joke, isn't it? You know what I mean? But the funny thing is, it didn't happen in the house. There's nothing there. But until later on that night, then it started working again. But I don't know if that's part of the program to make it seem real. I've got all sorts. There's one with a TV one. And what I like about the pictures, be it the fake or not, everyone's looking at you, and it looks like they're on a beach. I've got absolutely loads of them. Sometimes I can get 6, 7, 8 within a row, but I turn the internet off so I don't get all the adverts. So everything's off. It's just that app running on its own. I've got loads of pictures of all sorts. It's bloody brilliant. I'd recommend it. Yeah, Ghost TV. I'm sure that's what it's called. But I don't look at things like that. I just see them as fake. You know, I do follow my heart now. I have been in dreams. I have been in dreams where I've seen God twice. I've never seen him again. I've seen Jesus twice. I've talked about the Jesus one. That one seemed to be important. Like I say, because I don't see myself as religious. I need to stop saying that, but I'm just trying to make a point. of where this is all coming from and why am I thinking this way. But that's the one where he's stuck in limbo and things like that. I didn't want to come back to that. That's in a different story. That was a good one, that. Yeah, no swearing, no anger, no nothing. I was quite ill before all those stories. For about 4 or 5 months, I've had headaches, not sleeping very well, and things like that. So you can put the stories down to stress and that as well. So yeah, there's a bit of that in there. But these stories have been a long time coming, so it's not something new. They've always been there. I've just never listened because I thought it was just my nutty mind. Yeah, I didn't see myself as a religious man, but one of the things in the story that I always remember the most is that I used to always be afraid to go in the church. Even as a young man, I used to go to Sunday school and things like that. But when you get that big door, that arch, I've seen that door before. I was always quite afraid to go through it because in that church they had the Jesus that was on the cross, and I never used to like looking into his eyes because I could feel his pain. Now, this is the kind of ultimate secret in my heart of what happens to me when I kind of look at certain situations within the world. And it did lead to that story. And I was ill before that story. Once I told that story about how he was in limbo and how he seemed to have got set free in a way, you'd have to listen to it. It'll be on all the other stories, you'll see it. But my headache went away. I got a good night's sleep. I woke up feeling absolutely fantastic. Yeah, as if I've literally been set free from, I don't know. Have I found religion in the way of a God and a Jesus? That I cannot give you an answer because I don't want to go and read no book because I'm scared of the book. All of them. I don't like what they represent, and I've said it in the stories. I've got other ones to say, but I don't think I want to go down that route yet. I'm not too sure. It does need saying. But these are all dreams, what I've seen, thoughts. Yeah. Be it through government, parliament, where we can change ourselves and maybe have an electric city where we all just do 20 hours a week. I've got it all. The ideas are there. I'd love to get it all out. And this is what I'm trying to do. There's a song, Tina Turner, yet again. And I say Tina Turner she's one of my angels. She's an earth angel, 100%. Yeah, I like her in Mad Max. I'm a raggedy man. I am that raggedy man. That's who I am. If I'm going to pick myself, I'm the raggedy man. Simple. Princess and the Pauper. Yeah, I'm that pauper. I got a version for that. Blondie Too Hottie and the Blatant Scruff. Yeah. Yeah, and it is a common bloody poem. I like that one. Blondie Too Hottie and this Blatant Scruff. And the Blatant Scruff knew it'd never be enough to hold her hand and dance away and just tell her how he feels about her on this day. Blondie was nice, full of hair, and she used to have this lovely long white hair. But Blondie had a good heart, and she didn't care what people thought if she dated that pauper over there. So Blondie went to the pauper. No, Blondie went to the scruff. No, I've blocked it, I've blanked it, I'll come back to that one. You got that original. I'll have to look at that again. I'll leave that on there. Alright. Yeah, but yeah, I'm that.
We'll come back with that one.
Yeah, back to the Jesus thing in the church. Now that thing was really, that was a thought where when you went in, it was always there. You can always feel that's something I've always had when it comes to having my dreams. Because sometimes it is like I've got a bit of a mist in front of my eyes. I can almost pick at it. It's like when you see someone doing a hyperdrive on a sci-fi movie, it turns into just a straight line of light. It's like that, and I can see it all the time. And I've had that for years from a young man, that thought of something else. But I've always thought that is just me been able to go into my dreamland? Was it because I've knocked myself around the head too many times? I've just got long-term bloody concussion. Sometimes I wish it's just that, but it's not. It's not in my heart. It's not. Yeah. So yeah, I don't like looking at Jesus on that cross. So yeah, I never used to go in the church. Always got scared. But I don't remember too many dreams about Sarah when I was going to school. I remember getting bullied a lot. I had a situation where I was hurt by a teacher. Yeah, it was all about the dream was in the graveyard. No, the witches were first. Right, basically, now this is where it gets a bit more just out there for me, really. I am looking for answers, guys. I'm not going to deny it. Because something's driving me to find something. Be it myself in the way of a story or actually finding this place. Because I can draw this graveyard that I've been in quite a few times now. And it was the park that I've talked about in before when I hold Sarah. But yeah, see, I'm stalling. Yeah, the graveyard. Well, basically, it was the first time I figured out how to turn round. But before that, I was flying around and I went through like a city, but it was overgrown with foliage and all that sort of thing. It looked like it had been freshly bombed, even though it had all the vines and stuff all over it. It's one of the first times I remember actually seeing Sarah in the form that she was in, and she had that nice long blonde hair as normal, but it's kind of curly in a way, all fluffy and all that sort of thing. And she was just there smiling at me. She never had any wings, guys. Yeah, there's only 2 times she ever had wings, and that's the only time she had wings is when she was at the church in this garden, where she first gave me a hug. So yeah, she's in this dream, and I'm flying around, and I've just landed through, say, a window or something, and I just stopped there for a minute, and I jumped up, and I went to fly off again. And she was there, and I remember stopping, thinking, "Who's that?" Whoa, you know what I mean? I didn't recognise her. I didn't know who she was. But like I say, she was just the same age. I never really put an age into her dream. Never. And I've never had a bad dream. Well, I used to have nightmares, but not too many. But one of the, that's not the first time I saw her. No, it wasn't. Second time is where I kind of figured out she was kind of some sort of battle angel or something like that in a way. And yeah, you can put stories and videos on this, but this dream is basically what happened. The first dream, the younger dream, is when I went to sleep one night and I could feel these 3 witches behind me, green faces, the bloody lot. Yeah, and they was casting some sort of spell. And you can hear it. You can kind of more or less hear the bubbling of the cauldron and everything else like that. And I went to sleep. And I went to this graveyard, and all you can picture it as. You can imagine loads of them, like war heroes sort of graves, like you get in America, but it was all rounded, not crosses or like that. You couldn't see anything on them, but most of them was that all the way over. And there was like a square in the way of a path. But to the left of me was some steps that went down to a very dark door. Had railings all round it and everything. At the back, you see white posts and things with the railings going across, and you see the road at the back of me. And in front, now this graveyard is all part of one big graveyard, but it's part of 3 different dreams. Yeah, so this is why I've been in that graveyard quite a few times. I can draw it very well if somebody was to help me. But anyway, back to the story. I have gone through that door. I was always scared to go through that door. But yeah, back to the first story. But the first story was I've gone through the graveyard, but all I saw was the path and this big door. It was just a big concrete door with big 3 steps, and it had some sort of design on either side. And I went up to it. It didn't lead to anything. There was nothing on the other side. It was just the graveyard. But like I say, I've seen it from the other side of the door. That dream, all I heard was the biggest scream ever. And they cattled at me, and I woke up and I was so scared. I cried for hours. Absolute hours. I was so scared, and I've always had that thought in my gut. That screech when you wake up or you fell off a cliff or something like that. It's always that one every time. But the second dream was the one when I was with Sarah. But I went into the graveyard, but I seen it in so much detail. But that one dream, I had the same dream when I was in my 30s, mid-30s, exactly the same. And it showed me exactly what she did. I was in the same graveyard a lot because I'd been on the other side of that door. Because what she did, she come down one day, and I didn't go on the other side of the door. I just seen her come through the sky. It was like a crack of thunder. Yeah, boom, it popped and everything. And I seen her come down, and she was like flying, ready to punch someone. And all you heard was this big boom, and the witches screamed. This almighty scream. I can't even describe how loud it was. And I woke up so quick. I didn't cry, but I still had that gut-wrenching feeling. But she killed the witches. And I got an answer. I got an answer years after that. Especially when I look at my dreams and everything now. But is it a story? I don't know. But it's my dreams. This is what I've seen. How many people in USA can come up with this sort of thing? Just off the top of their head. But it isn't. This story's been in my... I've had this one for years now. But yeah, on to the next story. So that's when I was younger. That was before maybe 7 or 8, those first lot of dreams. When she killed them and all that sort of thing. But in between that, it's always been like going off on adventures and stuff and just holding hands or just having a bit of fun. One of them was just playing tennis. Yeah, had some sort of ninja suit on or something like that. Young dreams still. But I always went somewhere else. I never dreamt about family, never dreamt about friends, never dreamt about my brother who passed away. Ever. It was just me and her all the time. And it's still like that now. I've just not seen her for about a year. Since I had that dream of both of them in the office and me going off and talking to some sort of world leaders, I've not seen her. So I don't know what that's about. See, I don't know if that's my mind just playing tricks. Either way, it's making a good bloody story, regardless if you've been kind of bonkers or not. Talking about the situation of Jesus, I definitely drifted off on that bit. I've had to listen to the recordings. But the reason I didn't like going in the church is because I can feel people's pain. I've always been able to do it. And I don't know where I got the ability from or like that. But the first time I really seriously noticed it is when I think some of these kids were coming out of some sort of bomb that had been done. That was mid-80s. Where the kids' skin was burning and stuff like that. I kept getting that gut-wrenching feeling the witches gave me when they woke me up and scared me. I always used to get that. And any time I've looked on any sort of programme where, be it Live Aid and trying to help the kids and the struggling and the hurting, or be it modern day with the refugees and that, you can see the desperation in people's eyes. I feel every last bit of that. And I first felt that feeling when I looked at that man on that cross. And I've denied religion ever since. Yeah, I don't want to be like that man. I don't. I do fully believe, regardless of religion, that man should be taken off that cross, because that was his means of torture. It feels so right for us not to pray to something that caused him the most harm. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm happy if you don't like what I'm saying that though, and you can put it down to my mental health or not. I'm scared to admit I've seen Jesus and I've spoke to him and I've shook his hand. It seems so bizarre. And at the same time, it's talking about Sarah. Saying the God one's about... I seen him sitting on a bench once when I was coming out one dream that I've described about him trying to get everyone to sing a song in a circle. And the other time, just talking to him. I called him a silly bollock. Oh, a few times. I've shouted at him loads of times. Say I don't believe in God. I think I've told him off so many times. Why is that happening? Is that you? Are you sure you can do something? You must be a pussy. I've said it all, absolutely all. I did get an answer. I got told to shut the fuck up. It's in a story. I can't go over all of them. But I'm just trying to give you an idea in every single sort of recording I'm doing, what I'm talking about and where it's coming from. So yes, you can say I found religion, but no. See, I've got the story for the books. I've got one. I've seen it on the telly. I'm looking in between the lines, not in between the books, guys. Yeah, they look for answers in between these books, and I don't think they're in between the books. The idea started because I've had a dream where I was on the boat where they first took Jamaican people off the island. And the idea was, and it was through song, and it wasn't Bob Marley either. I don't know what I was listening to. But all I could see myself doing, because I've seen it on the telly where they had that wall with all Bibles or Qurans or whatever they've got on the wall that depicted some sort of religion. And I kept looking at the wall, but I dreamt about that wall. And I don't normally look at programs and dream about the program and actually see as if I was there. I've never been there. But I saw that wall, but it had Bob Marley's LP in the middle. And that was Legends. It did. And I was like, what's that all about? Now, sometimes I just think like we're missing something, because I keep getting in this circle, because talk about the three witches and where they came from, and I don't know why there was witches, but I've got an idea of why there was witches, but don't have an idea why there was angels or ghosts. Because the later on dream, because I think I need to get this one out of the way. I was in the graveyard and I knew exactly where I was, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. But all of a sudden, I was on the other side of the door. I'd crossed into the door. No, the one that I said there's nothing behind. I was on the other side, and it did look like somebody had cut like some sort of cartoon thing out of the floor. Yeah? And you seen the big cauldron right in front of me. It was bigger than me. It was massive, absolutely massive. I can see the door at the back of me and everything. It was closed. And I seen the last moments of what my guardian angel did over maybe 20 years ago, as she did that boom to them. And all she did, she went down and just spreaded this big sparkle of light of something into the cauldron. And all you've got is this big beam of light come out of the cauldron, and this massive whirlwind that started spinning around so fast. Yeah, I could feel the cold and everything. One of those dreams that was just, I loved it. I don't care what anybody says, I love it. But this is why I'm telling stories. I'm reminding myself, I'm going to listen to these. But yeah. But all of a sudden I started lifting up as the main witch, if you like, started turning into some golden sort of whirlwind herself. She was turning into something. But as I got to the top of where this whirlwind was carrying me, because it lifted me up, there's two other witches on my right-hand side. They turned into angels. They had the proper wings and everything else like that. No halo, but they had nice golden dresses on and everything else like that. And they was singing in a circle. Yeah? And I've seen this circle a few times, and I put it in another story already. Yeah? But then this golden ghost angel appeared. She didn't have any wings. She did have a crown. I've seen this crown in other places. I've looked at it. I've made it on computer games. The lot. Absolutely everything. I've got so much detail about this lady, and but I remember the graveyard. Looking down on it, because you can see the back. You see the road on the other side from where the steps were, where the door is. I didn't like going into. I'll get back to that one later. Everything, but what I do remember seeing was one of the gravestones was different. It was always happening, and I was looking at the gravestone, and it was broken, everything else like that, and it looked like a little house. Yeah, but on stilts or something, and it had the railings right. You see where it was broke. For whatever reason, I don't know why I remember that. But then she started talking to me, and she was talking and talking and talking and talking. But then I started coming out of that dream, Now, I'm definitely an older person because I can remember, yeah, I think I was in Blackpool when I had that one. Because that really did me, that is. Because when I woke up, I could hear her voice for best part of 3 hours. She was in my head, I could see her. You know, when I say I've got that halfway stage where I can see, where I'm half in dreamland and I'm half awake, and I can still see the story of the dream still keep going. She talked and she talked and she talked, and she did not stop talking. And ever since, these stories have been coming about. And I feel she had a message for people, or she might want to introduce herself. And that's where the story gets a bit more out there. Because I think this woman has something with the ladies of the divine. Because the only reason I say that is because when I said I've been looking for my answers and stuff like that, so that's the dream. This is what I've researched, and I've kind of got answers in a way. Because when I get the story right of what I'm looking at, saying, look, this is what the story's about, blah, 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 I get a feeling, an emotion. I have a cry, or it's as if like somebody's mini possessed me for a minute and gone, oh, it's that. I get it all the time. It won't leave me away. It's everything I do is an emotion and a feeling, and they're very, very strong. But yeah, I come out of the dream and she was just talking and talking, and these stories have got stronger and stronger each day. And my life was a bit crap for a while, so my mum's kids didn't work out in the way of the relationship. But I got my girls with me, so I got my two little angels already. And yeah, I'm enjoying it thoroughly being a dad. So I love the laughter, I love the smile, I love to be able to give the cuddles to myself. There's a certain person I wouldn't mind giving a cuddle to. Yeah, I think I owe a cuddle at least. Oh, back to it. Yeah, we're the Golden Ghost Lady, aren't we? I've only ever seen it once before. Yeah, after that one where they turned into the Golden Ghost Ladies. Why they did that, what they are, I don't know. I have got a story to why. That's all because I went into that door I said I was scared of. Now this dream was part of I went through maybe 4 portals in this dream. Now when I say portals, I'm transported straight away. I don't see a bloody blink of light and I go through it. I'm just blinking an eye. I'm in a different city or a different situation. But I don't dream like that very often. It's that's a rare one as well. But yeah, I skipped into these dreams because I've gone into the graveyard this time. And I've gone into the door and I remember being really scared. But it's as if somebody was holding my hand. And I've gone into this dark cave. It was pitch black. And all I can really think of is just coal. It didn't look like coal. It like suddenly glinted a little bit. Like a black coal diamond or something. I don't know if you can get something like that. It is bloody carbon or whatever, isn't it? Yeah. But in the middle was a lady. Now there's a song recently, Half a World Away, where the girl's laying down on the bloody floor in this white gown. And you just picture that, but it was pitch black. You could barely see her, okay? Now, I've got this ability to go into my dreams and things like that, but the idea about that one is I've managed to go somewhere wherever I go in my dreams, be it a heaven or a limbo or whatever. But when I touched this lady, she gasped. And she just looked at me like, what the fuck are you doing here? And since then, I think I've shown her some sort of light. Yeah? Because she's been in the darkness for so long, I've shown her the light. And ever since then, the only answer I've got for all this is that she seems to want to introduce herself. And I've got a way of how to try and achieve that, prove that, just through a feeling. So this is part of the stories where it's embarrassing and crazy, but it needs to be said. I think she wants to introduce herself because she's been forgotten about. We pray to all these gods, all these men at the top, that came from power. A lot of the religions came from power. If you don't believe in this, we're going to do that. The program where they depict the cross where Jesus is on, and the guy turns it into every different weapon we've ever had. So gun, knife, everything, up to the bloody bomb at the end. And he's shown that. That's the second time I've ever dreamt about a program. as if it's trying to show me something. But when he did the rocket bit and he went, it wasn't a rocket that destroyed us. It was a spaceship, and that's where the idea of this electric cities come from. Through the thought of just nothing. I don't know where you're getting these answers from. Or is it just going to be just a good sci-fi movie where potentially I could show you that something nice is next? Like Ghost Adventures, I like them. The way that they can prove more or less that there is an afterlife. So I don't sound too bonkers, but I feel it. Go on, Ghost Lady. See, I've not got a name for her. I don't know who those girls were. The only sense I've got is the Golden Ghost Lady is the mum. And the two girls, yeah, they were sisters. That I know. But yeah, I went down into the cave, blah, 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 and she's there and she's gassed. But I can remember the design very, very clearly, and there were thrones of sorts at the ends. And I think I've seen something similar on the telly, because that made me, when I felt that shock of something, thinking, fucking hell, that looks right. Like off Assassin's Creed, they've got it where he goes down into the thing to get the apple. There's something similar, but it was all dark. You just seen it, some sort of Celtic design of sorts, like a tattoo. You see it all the way around the floor and stuff. But it was pitch black, I couldn't see. But as soon as I touched her, I could see a bright light. And I didn't know where the bright light was coming from. And that's where it brought me to the numbers 13, and I read about Genesis chapter 13 or something, where there's all about the 4 angels, the 5th angel and all that sort of thing. I can't tell you the stories properly, I glanced at it, but when I read that story and heard the story, it did bring me back to this moment. As if that had something to do with it, because it was all about the wind blowing and all that, the wind stopped blowing and all this sort of thing. That part of the Bible that says they can't explain. Well, the bloody hell am I having dreams similar to that? But that's where I think I'm crazy, because things like, I'm a nobody. I'm not allowed to think that way. But just in case it is something, don't you think I owe it to everybody just to say it in the first place if I think there's something out there that wants to come and say hello? Maybe, potentially, to save us. Or just put a bit of love in our hearts so we all get along a little bit more nicely. I don't know. I really don't know. I want people to come and test me, ask me questions. Anything you want to do. I'd love to do that. I want to explore and experience things and go and find these places I've been on. And just see if I get anything, any answers. But I can do that personally. I just need to make a bit of money. That's not the difficult bit. I can do all that. Just getting the story out so where you understand that what I'm saying is just dreams. So I can't tell you at all if anything is true, or I can see the future, or if there are angels or not. Because all the time when this started, do you think, is it possible to be in shock for the rest of your life? To the point where that's why your brain talks you. You're just in shock. Because every time I see these people's faces and they're hurting on these TVs and stuff, I feel Jesus' pain when he's on that cross. Because he's still up there. He never got let down and he's hurting still. But I see all these people hurting in the same way. Get this overwhelming urge just to save a few kids to make a hyperdrive and escape this world. Look, I've got designs in my head how to do it. I need to get them out. I really do. Even if it is just a bag of nonsense. I need to get it out. I need to know what it is. It is driving me. It can't be just me. It can't be. I'm just one person. There's got to be other people out there that are dreaming away where my stories might actually make sense. So my stories go out to them as well. Please come and help me out. I think I'm a messenger of sorts, because in one of my dreams when I'm talking about my guardian angel and how she came and saved me, that was just the story, by the way. But the story's become a memory and it's become part of the story also. It's all mixed into one, like in the way of giving me answers. Sarah's smile. Sarah's a girl I like, and I think she's a very beautiful person. And from the first moment I ever met Sarah, I wholeheartedly fell in love with her smile. But the smile has always not bugged me, but it's always filled me with love. It gave me a smile in my heart I've never got rid of. And I think I know why. This is why I want to talk about a love that I couldn't have. And two ladies in my life that are called Sarah, which have both given me the same sort of feelings. And I think I know why. So this is Sarah's smile, and how it inspired me and makes me think that Sarah's my soulmate. So if you like me and you like your lovely dovey songs and you want to dance with a woman, that's me. If you're gonna hear who I am, I like the romantic side of things. I'm looking for my princess, and I want to be their handsome prince. Yeah, and it's one of them, that sort of idea. And Sarah's actually a beautiful woman. This story is part of truth and dreams and stories and everything, but mostly truth. Because I did fall in love with this woman, but I denied myself that love. But before Sarah, I had a guardian angel. But I didn't know her name until so later on. But her name is also called Sarah. I did not know this until before. I've dreamt about her, I've been in dreams, and this is my guardian angel. But she came and visited me when I was 5 years old, and what it was, I've lost my brother to a tragic accident. And I don't know if she made a mistake or not, but when my brother passed, then my mum tripped over me really badly, and everything was quite hectic because he died and run over. And I did try to get him back, and it was quite traumatic. But this angel came. She didn't come and get me. I remember going down hard, and I blanked out for almost 5 months.